A king's crown can be stolen in a whisper, not a war. And in the shocking final moments of this episode, Dwight Manfredi didn't lose his throne to a rival family or a hail of bullets. He lost it to a pair of handcuffs slapped on his most loyal soldier, Bill. The arrest wasn't just an attack from the outside, it was a surgical strike from within. And the betrayer's face is one we know all too well. The walls are no longer just closing in, they've begun to talk. The entire episode was a masterclass in the slow burn, a carefully constructed illusion of control before the inevitable explosion. The central stage was the lavish launch party for Montague Distilleries, an event that was supposed to be their coronation into the world of legitimate business. The pressure was a physical presence, a weight you could see on every character's shoulders, especially Bodhi's. He's the numbers man, and he knew the cold, hard truth: their entire financial future, their escape from the gritty Tulsa underworld, was riding on the smiles and nods of a few snobbish liquor critics from magazines like American Whiskey and Bourbon Plus. But this is the Tulsa King, where no dream goes uncontested. While Dwight was playing host, Margaret was making a desperate play of her own, aligning with the slimy gubernatorial candidate Thresher to win back her ranch. Dwight saw it not as a business move, but a personal failure, a sign he couldn't protect what she loved. His jealousy was a quiet, dangerous undercurrent. Meanwhile, the ghosts of New York were whispering in Bill's ear. Quiet Ray's pressure to flip on Dwight was turning Bill into a paranoid, frayed wire. He was a man caught between the Brotherhood he swore to Dwight and the omerta he swore to the old families. Encircling this entire party like a pack of wolves were the Dunmyers. Jeremiah, humiliated and vengeful after Dwight stole his prize whiskey supply, wasn't just planning to disrupt the party, he was planning to salt the earth so nothing could ever grow there again. Every single thread of conflict, personal, financial, and criminal, was pulled taut, all converging on that one glittering party. It was a powder keg waiting for a single spark. That spark came in the form of a weaselly health inspector named Lily, a clear plant from Jeremiah via the Attorney General's sack rider. The confrontation in the barrel room was a thing of beautiful, terrible tension. As Lily smugly listed violations, you could feel the crew's frustration boiling over. And then came the moment that changed everything. Bigfoot, the gentle giant who had been meticulously carving an ice sculpture, made a split-second decision that crossed a moral event horizon. Whether it was a deliberate push or a tragic accident, the result was the same. A tower of heavy bourbon barrels tumbling down, crushing Lily, and a scene of shocking, visceral brutality. This wasn't a strategic mob hit. It was a messy, chaotic homicide on their own property. The dream of legitimacy died right there, soaked into the floorboards alongside the blood and spilled whiskey. Mitch's immediate cold-blooded shift into cover-up mode, we frame it as an accident, cemented their fate. They were now murderers hiding in plain sight. And as if to hammer the final nail in the coffin, Jeremiah and his son Cole stormed the party, causing a brawl and exposing the stolen bourbon to the fleeing critics. The empire Dwight built was crumbling in real time, and the heartbreak on Spencer's face as she realized Cole's betrayal was the final emotional gut punch of the public downfall. While the public spectacle of the party's failure unfolded, a much quieter, more dangerous game was being played in the shadows, and it all revolved around the single most important piece of technology in Dwight's world, his cell phone. The episode confirmed our deepest suspicions in a chilling, almost casual manner. A ghost call from a man named Deacon, a bomb maker, is immediately followed by a call from his FBI handler, Agent Musso, with the simple, terrifying command: take the meeting. This was the undeniable proof. Musso wasn't just occasionally listening in, he had a live, constant feed into Dwight's life. Every secret shared, Every order given, every moment of vulnerability was being broadcast directly to the federal agent pulling the strings. This bugged phone is the Rosetta Stone for understanding the entire season. It's the key that unlocks every move. With this knowledge, Dwight's subsequent actions take on a new, desperate light. He goes to meet Deacon at the bread tub buck, but he deliberately leaves Tyson outside. This was a conscious act of protection. Dwight was stepping into a darkness, hiring a man to build a bomb to wipe the Dunmyers off the map that he refused to let his protege witness. It was a flicker of the old code he lives by, even as he plans an act of horrific violence. But in this world, no secret meetings stay secret for long. The critical piece of evidence that would lead directly to Bill's arrest was captured in a single, grainy photograph. As Deacon left the meeting, one of Bill's own men who had been tailing Dwight on Bill's paranoid orders snapped a picture. Think about the devastating irony here. Bill's loyalty to Dwight, his desperate need to protect the crew from the rat he believed was among them, directly led him to gather the evidence that would later be used to destroy him. He was building his own prison, brick by brick. This photo is the connective tissue. It's the proof that Dwight was engaging in a side operation, a side hustle, as Bill would later call it, completely off the books and without the knowledge of his second-in-command. When Bill later confronts Dwight, his fury isn't just about being left out. It's the gut-wrenching realization that his friend and king is operating in the shadows. The photo is the catalyst. It transforms Bill's paranoia into certainty, and it gives someone, whether it's Dwight, Musso, or another player, the perfect tool to frame Bill and remove him from the board permanently. The trap was set not with a bang, but with the silent click of a camera shutter. The confrontation between Dwight and Bill was more than an argument. It was a divorce. It was the sound of a brotherhood shattering. Bill, radiating a toxic mix of betrayal and heartbreak, stormed into Dwight's home. He wasn't there as a subordinate. He was there as a partner who had been deceived. He laid it all out on the table. Dwight's mysterious absence, the secret meeting with Deacon, the photo. He connected the dots and arrived at the most devastating conclusion possible. "What side hustle you running that you cut me out of?" he demanded. But the real knife twist was his follow-up question, the one that laid bare his deepest fear. "You a federal informant?" And Dwight's reaction was not the calm, collected denial of an innocent man. It was a volcanic eruption of defensiveness and rage. He screamed, he got in Bill's face, he turned the accusation back on him. This was the panic of a man whose secrets are inches from being exposed. A guilty man fights, an innocent man explains. Dwight fought. He fought dirty. And that moment, he wasn't a king defending his throne. He was a cornered animal biting the hand that fed him. The trust that had been the bedrock of their entire Tulsa operation evaporated in that room. When Bill walked out, he wasn't just leaving a partnership. He was abandoning a man he no longer recognized. The kingdom was already lost before the cops ever arrived. Now, let's dissect the arrest itself. Bill, alone with his thoughts, sitting at a red light. The calm after the storm of his friendship's end. Then the flashing lights. Not one car, but a swarm. He wasn't just being picked up for questioning, he was being taken down hard, a clear signal that this was a premeditated, high-priority arrest. The silence of the final shot was louder than any gunshot. So who made the call? The evidence points to a chess gang with 4 major players. Theory 1, Dwight, the pragmatist. This is the coldest, most brutal possibility. Dwight knew Bill's investigation was a missile headed straight for the secret federal operation. A jailed Bill is a controlled Bill. He can't talk to the wrong people. He can't dig any deeper. In Dwight's twisted logic, sacrificing Bill's freedom might have been the only way to save Bill's life and protect the larger, longer game. Theory 2, Musso, the puppet master. This is the most likely scenario. Musso heard the entire confrontation on the bugged phone. He heard Bill's suspicions, his knowledge of the Deacon meeting. Bill became an immediate, unacceptable threat to his investigation. By having Bill arrested, Musso accomplishes two things. He neutralizes the threat, and, more diabolically, he strategically isolates Dwight from his most powerful ally. A divided crew is a weak crew, and a weak crew is easy for the feds to break. Theory 3. Jeremiah's long game. Never, ever underestimate the quiet, simmering rage of a man like Jeremiah Dunmyer. He has the local police and the attorney general in his pocket. He knows that Bill is the backbone of Dwight's operational strength. By having Bill arrested on trumped-up charges, perhaps even pinning Lily's death on him, he decapitates Dwight's army in one move. Imagine the next scene, Jeremiah visiting Bill in a cold, sterile interrogation room. "Look what your friend's war with me has cost you," he'd whisper. "Help me end him, and you walk out of here a free man." This isn't just revenge. It's a brilliant strategic maneuver to turn Dwight's strongest pillar into his weakest link. Theory 4. Thresher's petty revenge. This is the wild card, but in the world of power politics, ego is a potent weapon. Just hours earlier, Bill publicly humiliated the powerful and arrogant gubernatorial candidate, Thresher, telling him to get lost in no uncertain terms. For a man whose currency is public respect and fear, that insult would have cut deep. Could Thresher's vindictiveness run so deep that he made a single, furious phone call to a contact in the state police to have Bill picked up? It would be a flex of pure power, a reminder to these gangsters who really controls the levers of authority in Oklahoma. Each theory has its own compelling logic, and each points to a different, terrifying future for Dwight. The fallout from this single event is immeasurable. With Bill in custody, who runs the crew's day-to-day operations? The loyal but less strategic Mitch? The hot-headed Armand? Dwight is now completely isolated, trapped between the feds who own him, the New York families who want to bury him, the Dunmyers who want to destroy him, and a crew that will soon be rippling with panic and doubt over their leader's judgment and their incarcerated lieutenant. The trust is gone. The foundation is cracked. Bill's arrest wasn't the end of the war. It was the end of the first act. The rest of the season will be about the bloody, chaotic scramble for power in the vacuum Bill left behind. Dwight is no longer a king defending a castle. He's a lone man standing in the ruins, and every shadow now holds a potential enemy. The game has changed, and the rules have been torn to pieces.